This is Mech04 information storage, and we're going to talk about finding the vehicle identification number. When you get to Pro Demand, as you can see right here, we're on Pro Demand, we would want to select a vehicle. There's several ways. Before I showed you how to do it just with the vehicle, but now we're going to show you how to punch in the VIN. Where do we find the VIN? VIN stands for Vehicle Identification Number, and every vehicle has its own individual number. Where do you find that on the vehicle is another question. You can see in this picture that we have a car here, and there is a little tag underneath the windshield that you look through the windshield from the outside and you can see, and it's a 17-digit number. Those 17 digits are there. They all represent different things, those numbers. So you either find it right there under the windshield, or if you look on the door, when you open the door, it's either on the door, edge of the door, or on the door jamb. So what will you see when you look on the door jamb? Well, this is pretty much what you're going to see. It's a little sticker, and that little sticker has a bunch of information on it. It has the build date, and that's the date it came out of the manufacturer. Now we need to make sure we understand that that is not the date date that the manufacturers call the vehicle. Okay, the year that they say, if it's a 1924 Ford Model T, or if it's a 1998 Ford Taurus or something like that, they need to know what that number is, and that's not necessarily your build date. You need to find that from the vehicle identification number, and that sits right here. Now, which letter or number or which position is the one that gives you your build date? That's this one right here, this Y. So it's the 10th digit. So if you look over here and say, always the 10th digit, go to the 10th digit, it's a Y. How do we know what that Y means? Well, those letters mean something, and it might be a number too. But you can see up here that I've written a little chart just to start us off. If it's an A, that means it's 1980. And B means it's 1981. C makes 1982. And you go on and on all the way down to Y, which is a 2000. Now there's a few things you need to be careful of. You don't use these numbers, I, O, U, Q, and Z. You leave them out. And so that's why Y is 2000. We don't count Z. So there's nothing, you'll never see a Z. And I, O, U, Q, and Z you never will see. Now, starting in 2001, like, where do we go after this? Well, we go over here. In 2001, the 10th digit will be a 1. 2002, it'll be a 2. You go all the way up to 2009, which would make it a 9. But then, 2010, it changes then. A is just like 1980. So 2010 is A, 2011 is B, 2012 is C, and it goes on like that. Once you have this VIN number, you write down or take a picture with your camera or whatever, then you go to Pro Demand, and you would click right here on VIN, and you just start typing in, and it'll do all of the things for you so you don't have to punch in all of the details for the vehicle. It's very handy that way.